Hi, this tutorial will help you answer the question, which measure of center? So we're going to look at a couple different measures of center and see which one gives us the best way of summarizing a data set. So we're going to take a look at this data set. So according to the website Zillow.com, Zillow.com is a website that gives you information about housing values. So the picture shows the estimated values of the houses on the block of Fairmont Avenue between Dale Street and St. Albans Street in St. Paul, Minnesota. Okay, and this is by no means a representative neighborhood in St. Paul. I picked one that was pretty affluent. So there are 9 houses on the block, and each of the numbers next to the house represents the estimated value that Zillow placed on that house. Okay, so we can see that the house on the corner here is valued at $429,000, the K meaning thousand. So down here in the data set, I have 429 because I'm measuring this in thousands of dollars. Okay, 681,000 is here. 623,000 is here. If you go to the end of the block, the corner house here, very big house, valued at 2.08 million. So down here I have that listed as 2,080 because in thousands of dollars that would give you 2.08 million. Okay, so that's the data set we're going to use. And what we're going to do with that data set first is to find all 3 of the measures of center. So we need to find the mean, the median, and the mode. Okay, so we'll start with the mean. So recall that with the mean you need to add up all of the values and divide by how many there are. So we already said there was 9 houses on this block, so we're going to divide by 9, but let's do the sum first. Okay, so I'm just adding all of these up, making sure I don't type anything in wrong, and let's see if I got them all. And it looks like I've missed one. Oh, I missed the 776, so I'm going to put that in there. So it's always a good idea to go back and double check to make sure you have all the numbers, so you don't make a mistake like I just did. So that the sum ends up being $7,122. So really what that means is that all of the houses on the block added together end up being about being valued at about $7 million. Okay, but now we want to spread that out over all 9 houses. So we need to divide that by 9, the sample size, and this will give me something, it'll be approximately equal to about 791, and I'll just round that to the nearest whole number. Okay, so so the mean is about $791,000. Okay, so we'll come back to that number and we'll interpret all of them at the end. Okay, the next thing I want is the median. Okay, so with the median what I need is I need all of my data in order from, usually I do least to greatest. So I'm going to reorder the numbers, least to greatest. So 429, my next largest number is 568. Then I have 623. Then 637, then 664, then 681, 776, and the big one, 2080. Okay, so again, I am looking for the median. So with the median is the middle number. If you have an odd number of numbers, it is the middle number. If you have an even number of numbers, it's the average of the 2 middle numbers. Okay, so in this case, we have an odd number of numbers. So if I have 9 values, that means that the median will be the 5th value. So we just count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This ends up being 664. Okay, so that means that since that's the median, I have 4 values on this side, 4 values on this side. So my median here is 664. Okay, and now the mode. The mode is the most frequently occurring number. Okay, and really in this case, there's only one number that's repeated, those 2 houses that were next to each other. So your mode is also 664. Okay, and it's just a coincidence that these 2 numbers are the same. but still interesting. So now if we take a look at all of these numbers, let's start with the mean. Okay, the mean, notice, is quite a bit higher. It's actually higher than all of the values except for the big mansion at the end of the block. Okay, so what happened here is that, remember that the mean is very sensitive to outliers. So it's sensitive to outliers, so that means that this $2.08 million house is going to have a big effect on this mean. So it pulled the mean way up. Now the median, that number is right in the middle. So that the median is resistant to outliers. So actually a lot of times when they're quoting house values, they're going to quote you the median house value. Okay, they're not going to give you the mean, because if there's a mansion on the block, or let's say that there's a house worth very little, that's really going to change that mean housing value. So a lot of times they're going to quote you the median value. Okay, so a lot of times if there are outliers, a median is generally a better value that will help you summarize the data. The mean's usually good too, and that's good again when you don't have outliers. But then again, the mean does, it tells you, well, there's that big house at the end of the block, that it does have an effect on the mean. So sometimes it's good to quote both values. Okay, now the mode. For this type of data set, the mode is not very meaningful. Okay, yeah, it does tell you that there's two houses of the same price, but other than that, it doesn't really tell you much. Generally, the mode is more effective when you have a large list of data, or maybe if you have a frequency table, again with many values, and you can get a range of values that occurs the most. Okay, so to kind of summarize that, when describing a data set, sometimes the mean does not provide a representative value due to outliers. Okay, in the house example, the $2.08 million house pulls the mean up. The median provides a more representative measure of center. Okay, and although there was a mode in the house value example, the mode is more relevant when data is grouped into numerical intervals or categories. So, again, to recap, mean is sensitive to outliers, median is resistant to outliers, and the mode is generally more valuable in a larger data set, especially when it's grouped, when we're dealing with grouped data. So that has been the tutorial on choosing which measure of center. Thanks for watching.